Deadly crashes raising questions about these kinds of excursions, which are very common on cruises.
And what kind of risk passengers are getting themselves into when they sign up, and what can they do if something goes wrong?
Joining us to discuss your rights as a cruise passenger is attorney Brett Rivkind. He's handled cases in the past where cruise passengers have sued cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, the cruise line involved in this incident. Brett, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Welcome. And right off the bat, a lot of people, frequent cruisers, especially here in South Florida with the ports so close by, are wondering, what is the responsibility of these cruise lines when we disembark at those ports of calls? Is there liability on the part of the cruise line?
Well, there absolutely can be liability, but what passengers are surprised to learn about is that even though these shoreside excursions are promoted and sold by the cruise ship company and they profit from them and they represent that they're vetting these companies, as soon as something like this happens, the cruise ship company takes the position that these shoreside excursion companies are what they call independent contractors, which legally means that they're going to argue they're not responsible for the negligence of these companies because they're independent contractors.
Now, the cases that you have tried, have any of them involved something that went wrong on an excursion, or just things that have happened on board the ship?
Oh, no, I've been doing nothing but maritime cases for 34 years here in Miami. We've handled many shoreside excursion cases. And there are theories under the maritime law to hold the cruise ship company responsible. But what passengers need to know is that the cruise ship company will take the position that the company is an independent contractor, and in fact, in the fine legal print in the passenger tickets, which are 4-page contracts, really, the cruise ship company puts in there that they're independent contractors. Right. But that doesn't mean that that's the end. There are ways to navigate to recovery for the passengers, different legal theories to hold the cruise ship companies accountable when something does happen during a shoreside excursion.
All right, well, what advice do you have for people who take cruises? Because it is, like Lauren said, so convenient here. We have Port Everglades, Port Miami, and people enjoy going on the cruises. What advice do you have for cruise passengers?
You got to be aware, first and foremost, read that passenger ticket, and also realize that the cruise ship companies are going to ports all over the world in less developed countries, and there might in fact be dangers associated with these shoreside excursions. Maybe these companies don't follow the same safety standards. The cruise ship company is supposed to check out the companies for their safety record and history, but oftentimes they don't do a good job doing that because they just don't spend the money and the resources to do so, and then a passenger later finds out that the excursion company involved has a poor safety history record, for example, that the cruise ship company had the resources to know about and a duty really to know about, and to either warn passengers about these dangers that are present in the shoreside excursions, which they do not, or maybe a duty not to even use these particular shoreside excursion companies or keep them year after year when they learn about a company that has a poor safety record.
In your experience and in your opinion, what do you think the recourse could be for passengers, and not just in a case like what we're unfortunately seeing in Mexico, but if anything goes wrong on these excursions on any sort of vacation?
Well, the recourse would first and foremost start with that passenger ticket, but you can bring a case against a cruise ship company for negligence. And in this particular case, the initial report is that this accident was due to speeding, which I thought was pretty obvious based on what we heard. But as the investigation continues, we're going to get to what I like to refer to as the root causes. You know, the surface cause obviously is this driver was speeding with a bunch of cruise ship passengers on a long voyage for whatever reason. But there's going to be root causes that led to this accident, and I'm confident that those root causes are going, when you go down to the roots, are going to lead back to some responsibility on the part of the cruise ship company, and there should be to these passengers that they're selling the tickets to and profiting from.
All right, so read the fine print on those tickets when you buy the excursions. Brett Rivkind, who is a maritime attorney here in South Florida. Nice to meet you. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.